How do you make them stick? What would you tell leaders after you walk away, Tom Ault is out? How do you make them successful after you're gone?
Yeah, that's, again, another $1 million question there. I think there's a couple things. They have to embrace the training. It shouldn't just be an event, right? And you see that happen where I come into a class and I ask, just this week, so why do you think you're here? I don't know. We were told to show up. This was mandatory training. That's what we were told. Okay, so we have a group of prisoners as
Right.
opposed to, people not willing to learn. And they come in with their arms folded and they're like, okay, what is this all about? I was
Right.
told to show up. And so, okay, well, here's what I've been told, and you go through that. And so regardless of why you think you're here, let's make the best of it, right?
Right.
Let's make sure we cover what you need to get covered.
Right.
And you can usually get by that pretty quickly.
Right.
But number one, it ought to be purposeful. We shouldn't just send people to training because it's the nice thing to do. There should be a purpose. This is why you're going to be trained. And so the more clear we can be, even with a discussion ahead of time.
Right.
So if I'm sending you to training, Sam, I should be able to say, okay, here's the training. Here's the things I'm hoping that you're going to
The
come away
outcomes,
with.
what we talked about to start. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm going to set that expectation. And then guess what? When you're done with training, I want you to come back to me and tell me how you did and what you're doing and what help you need and things like that. So when I do training, that's I say that's a requirement. I'm going to dictate this to you. This is a homework assignment. With this training, and with any training that you get, I think you owe it to your organization to do two things. Number one, report back to your manager on how you felt about the training and what you learned and what you're going to implement and what help you need from them. And then you're going to need them to follow up to make sure
Right.
it doesn't slide away, right?
Right.
And I think that's a requirement for any training.
Yeah.
And that helps bring your leadership involved so that they start to prioritize things and reinforce it.
Right.
And then I think you also report back to your staff and you engage them to say, hey, I went to this training. Here's some things I learned. I need your help on this. Or I can share some of this knowledge, so I'm going to help you learn some things.
Right.
And so I think that's true with any training that anybody should do when at any part of the organization. They owe
Right.
it to the organization.